What is going on, Browns fans? Welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. I am your host, Justin Harold, as always. But today, no Jeff. Got a little bit of a funky schedule going on this week. Some things happened, some things transpired, but we keep it rolling here at the Pulse. So we're going to be bringing you guys your Week 6 preview for the Browns versus the 49ers. Your Brownies coming off of a bye week. Lots to talk about with them. But on the other side, with the 49ers, one of only two teams remaining in the NFL with an undefeated streak of 5-0 heading into Week 6. It's a heck of a matchup and a heck of a storyline to talk about. But your Brownies sit at 2-2 and are looking to improve to 3-2 with a tough matchup at home. The last time I was at a 49ers game, I was actually in San Francisco for the beatdown that they gave us, hoping to turn that around this week. But like I said, a lot to talk about on the Browns side of things. Obviously, if you've been under a rock, you might not know that Deshaun Watson has been ruled out for this game, meaning one of PJ Walker or Dorian Thompson, DTR. I'm just going to refer to him as DTR so I don't mess up his name again. But one of those two will be starting. The presumed lookout as of right now is PJ Walker will be stepping up to play as the starting quarterback after the debacle of DTR's first starting game. I think this is the right move. It's tough to really get into, outside of DTR being a rookie and getting thrown into, two very seasoned defenses, very talented defenses, very well coached defenses. And that's just something that I think for his confidence and for his development in the future, you don't want to do that to him. Now, PJ Walker, on the other hand, is a 3-year vet who came out of the XFL, was one of the better XFL quarterbacks, got a chance with Carolina for the past 3 years. And for those who do know of him, you know of his struggles, but it is also fair to say that the team's struggles with Carolina have been pretty well documented for the past couple of years and continued this year as well. So what I'd like to get to the point of with that is just PJ Walker. You guys might be sitting here thinking, we're doomed. There's no chance. You might have been thinking we were doomed, no chance with Deshaun, just with how well the 49ers have been playing, how well they've looked, and just a bit with how we've struggled. But I'm here to tell you that's defeatist attitude, and I've never been a defeatist in reality. So let me tell you something. PJ Walker is a good quarterback. Is he great? Who knows? Is he bad? I don't think so. But you can't base his career off of Carolina. Carolina has been a wreck ever since Cam Newton's left, ever since, you could say Ron Rivera, Cam Newton, either way, they haven't been relevant since those two. So I want to make a point here. The talent that was around PJ Walker in Carolina is nothing in comparison to the talent that is around him now. You got Amari Cooper. You have Elijah Moore, who's got talent. You have DPJ, who has shown us flashes in the past. You have David Njoku, who can be a safe, reliable tight end option. And a run game that's going to be the one part of this aspect for offense that he might not have a great time with. The team might not have a great, game with this week, especially with the 49ers. But that's not to say that the offensive line is still one of the better options he's had in the last 4 years of his career. Now, there are some notes to have here. I'm going to show you guys the injury report, which for the first time, I want to say in his career, very Joe Thomas-esque career. You'll see here, Joel Bitonio, his knee came out of last week's game on crutches, has not practiced in back-to-back days. Now, we still have one practice left here before we get into the final status of guys before Sunday. It would be huge if he could play. We'll see, but we're going to have a next man up kind of situation. You can see here, though, another one of our starting offensive linemen with injury. This is going to be the biggest part of whether we can have success or not. And it's always been this way for this offense. If the offensive line can be dominant, so can our offense in general. Now, missing two, and especially your cornerstone piece, Joel Bitonio, who's been here the longest of any offensive lineman since Joe Thomas has retired, it's going to be tough sledding if we got to replace more than one person on this offensive line for Sunday. Now, if it's just Joel, it's a huge hit, but with Bill Callahan, whoever he's got stepping up into that role, I'm sure we'll be prepared. We'll be ready. He might not give us the greatest performance like Joel would, but you can definitely expect to see a ton of effort go into it. And again, the coaching from the offensive line standpoint has always been phenomenal. Now let's just take a look at the rest of the injury report. Miles, he went from did not practice with his foot. Obviously, we all saw the boot that he was wearing after the game with Baltimore. Still after the bye week, did not practice Monday or did not practice Tuesday, was limited yesterday. Hopefully here we get either another limited or a full participant in practice. Again, it would be catastrophic for the defense against a hugely talented offense like the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. I mean, listing that off and alone is a scary matchup. But for me, I'm actually more and more intrigued in the matchup of the offensive line and the defensive line, more particular, our defensive line against their offensive line. Trent Williams, a target from a long time ago. Some of you Browns fans might remember playing left tackle, has been playing some of his best. I mean, he's been dominant for a long time now, but he is playing some of his best ball with the 49ers, and they are playing some of their best ball. I would love to see Myles Garrett one-on-one with Trent Williams. That's a true one-on-one matchup that you guys, if you're not a defensive lineman like I was or was into the defensive line and offensive line talk, this is something you might not really, get into. You might gripe about it, but you wouldn't get into it the way that I'm going to get into it because, man, oh man, do I love seeing matchups like this. This is true one-on-one talent. These guys should be going at each other. They should be going tick for tack. But hopefully Myles is able to get in and, be able to play through the foot injury. Now, another did not practice, David Njoku. I'm very curious. I don't know if they're just letting him rest because he was able to play through Baltimore game with the burns. If you guys haven't seen the burns on social media, I encourage you to go look at it. I mean, I will say one thing about David Njoku. He's got some grit. That's for sure. Now, to have a safety valve option, that would be huge for PJ Walker. I think David Njoku is that exactly. But yeah, injuries playing another huge part into this week. Obviously, haven't even gotten into the Watson talk. And again, we're not really going to. We've seen how the shoulder injury works if you rush back into it. And for me, it was going to be a tough game no matter what. And I would have loved to see Deshaun come out and, hand the 49ers their first loss. But again, when I say this is a talented team, we've been saying it's a talented team for the last 3-4 years. At this point, coming out of a bye week, the game plan might not change. And Jeff, he might not be here, but Jeff made a good point that week to week, I think Kevin Stefanski game plans for a team, and he does not game plan for who is going to be playing quarterback for them. I think wholeheartedly he has a game plan, and he believes that all of his quarterbacks or all of his players are able to execute at least at a level that is comparable to winning. And so what will be huge for this week is seeing, coming out of a bye week, how good this offense can look. And I know that we won't have Deshaun, but again, you have 2 weeks to prepare for this opponent. You have 2 weeks to game plan without Deshaun in mind. You played Baltimore without him or you played Baltimore with him in mind. Now you got to play without him in mind. I think you can't really argue that, they didn't think or they thought he was going to play for this game if everything leading up to it has been true. That being said, with the offense, everything lined out for you guys, here's the other note that I found from this past week, and this I can't find the tweet again, but in 9 matchups between Jim Schwartz and Kyle Shanahan is 1-8 against Jim Schwartz defenses. Now, I know that saying numbers or records like that is very misleading, very, very misleading. But we've seen Jim Schwartz turn this defense into something spectacular, something that we've known it could be with all the talent that it has. We're going to need the defense to score some points. We're going to need the defense to create some opportunities for this offense. And I wholeheartedly believe that we can do that. We've got the talent. We've got the personnel. I think we've got the coaching on that side of the ball now. Let's hope that we're able to contain and at least limit what San Francisco can do. Our run defense has been outside of Baltimore. And again, the Baltimore game was an anomaly of situation. You know, the turnovers, the field position, the amount of time the defense spent on the field. If we can change those things, if we can keep our offense on the field longer, gives them more time to rest on defense. If we can create turnovers of our own and put ourselves into scoring positions for the offense, we can win this game. This is a winnable game. Now, this is the time when I give the prediction, and I know that everything I just said was optimistic and, you know, trying to look at it from a point of realism. I'm still going to predict that the Browns lose 21-17. I think that's a generous score. I think 3 touchdowns for San Francisco. Unfortunately, I think we'll have our own turnovers at some point that they'll capitalize. And unfortunately, I don't think the defense will be able to make up for everything that is going on currently with the offense, with injuries and whatnot. But 17-21, I think that's going to be the final score. San Francisco wins. But like I said, guys, you can't go into this game thinking it's already a loss. That's just not how the NFL works. We've seen games from the Browns' point of view where they've had it won and they've lost it. Could be the total same story here, but we won't know until Sunday hits. So if you guys made it through the video, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Jeff will be back. We'll be back together. But please make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting. What do you think is going to be the game plan going into this game? What do you think the keys are to this game? Would love to hear some thoughts on that. Please make sure you guys are subscribing. And when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, because we're not only talking Browns now, we're also coming into the Cleveland Cavaliers time. It's almost NBA season time. Regular season, preseason's already gone. We'll have some notes on that too. But like I said, guys, thank you all so much for making it through this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.